Why is everyone sleeping on this? No, like seriously, why is everyone sleeping on the Witch and the Beast? This is actually a sleeper out of any of the anime I've seen this season. And I did say 1 or 2 was also another sleeper, but this one's a real sleeper right here. I haven't heard a lot of people speak about this at all. From its fun concepts and cool characters, I'm surprised no one said a peep of anything at all. Like, comment, subscribe, it helps. But before I get into any of my deep dives, let me at least get into the story of things, right? So with the start, we have a narrator that goes over the world and how the world works, right? Where we have these witches and there's only a 17 family or lineages out there, and they can either aid you or they can curse the fuck out of you. And if they curse you, there's only 3 necessarily ways to get out of that curse. With 1, a loving kiss from Prince Charming. 2, you change the witch's heart and she's like, you know what, I'll undo the curse just for you. Or 3, I almost said the secret third thing. You don't get that to the end of episode 1. I'm not gonna really speak about that.
Maybe I will, Millhouse. Maybe I will.
But after the narrator is done speaking, we just get put into the middle of things with Guido and Ashoff, as they're both the 2 main characters of the show. Where Guido and Ashoff, it seems like they're looking for a specific witch that's in the city. When we then see a land shark attack. But that's all I say for the story. Not turning into all my likes and whatnot, right? So the first thing I have to say is I really do like how this show necessarily feels like a fairy tale in a really, really weird way, because if anything, it just feels like that author is just taking some bits and pieces or concepts from a fairy tale and is like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. But also a small little mix of Law and Order for like 3 or 4 episodes out of the 12 episodes that we get this season. It feels a little bit like Law and Order-y, where we have like the officers, or I guess secret officers in this instant, come into a situation where some magic nonsensical thing happens in the force and we have to correct it or fix whatever's going on in this moment. Then there's the 2 biggest things, or the biggest positives I will give the show, is the characters as well as the concepts. The show literally stops and explains either a character, whether it be their origins or specifically how they are or how they're in this predicament, or the concept of like a certain magic or how this magic necessarily works. And that could easily not work, but it works perfectly well in the show, especially the way it's structured. And to be honest, I can really appreciate that, because I'm sort of tired of concepts that are literally either A, half-ass, B, they're just there, or C, there's just nothing at all. And that goes for characters or concepts alike. But I might as well just start and talk about the characters first. With the characters of Guido and Ashoff, the main characters, I really do enjoy them. I enjoy them a lot. Starting off for Ashoff, who is like a supporting main character, like secondary. Ashoff is like the cool Rico Suave, oh my goodness, I'm so cool, I love smoking in the 90s type of guy, where the ladies all fall for him. But positively enough, he's always the cool, calm, and collected guy, and always feels like he has the situation on a lock. There's a rarity of times where he starts to panic or starts to get scared in a situation. He's always the man with the plan. Then there's Guido, who is we'll just go with the he for now. You'll see why I said that in a bit. But Guido is basically the main character of the show, right? Who is sort of really unlikable probably to most people because of how harsh or rash this person may be when it comes to situations, and only be a one-track minded person when it comes to her herself or he, she, whatever, getting back their body. Might as well spoil a tiny bit. You have been warned starting now. So Guido's trying to get back his body. Wait, what? What's that noise? Oh sweet Jesus.
Myself.
He was cursed by a witch to inherit this specific body, and in turn Guido only has a one-track mind. He only specifically wants to find his witch and make him redo the curse, or undo the curse, sorry, so to speak. And Guido, like I said, is rude, crude, and rushes into situations, but also has some positives to him or her, because Guido's also blunt, honest, and sort of trustworthy when it comes to certain situations, and him wanting to help other people. And as we go along with the story, we sort of see that actually Guido's come a long way from what he once was before. And I do like the relationship that these 2 characters have with each other, because they have the completely obvious water ice fire ice or yin and yang type of concept, where one is just the opposite of the other, except one has a way more helpful intent and the other one has a lot more murderous intent, especially to the other person. But all this to say, it makes me really interested, especially with Guido, right? Because with Guido, you have a one-track in mind, you only have one goal in mind, you never talked or said anything about anything else. So once you obtain this object or thing that you really want, what are you going to do next? What is the plan after this? And he said before he's going to maybe kill people or kill at least Ashen, but honestly actions speak a lot louder than words, and realistically all the actions he's committed up to this point have been in a good sense or good faith. Then there's also 2 other characters who we quickly talk about and we quickly go in and out of in the series for only 2 specific episodes, and it's Fenora as well as Johan. I'll start with Fenora. Fenora is basically sort of the lead of the group when it comes to both of them, as well as a necromancer. She looks dead, but she's not dead at all. She's actually very much alive, but she has a deep respect for necromancy as well as just helping and keeping keeping these people alive when it comes to necromancy, which I'll get into in a bit. And then you also have Johan, who's a servant to Fenora, and they sort of have like a really good relationship with each other, but bare minimum really care about each other, but not like other relationships that get a little too weird with it. But their little small arc is like one of my favorite things about this show, period. It was really good 2 episodes when you see them both together and we sort of get into the ins and outs of necromancy. So I might as well just get into my second favorite thing about the show, or maybe even just the first, is just the concept itself. The way they dealt with necromancy was extremely well done. I loved it from start to finish when it came to these two, as well as just the concept of necromancy. Because with necromancy itself, it went into the ins and outs of necromancy, of like how specifically it works, the morality of necromancy, should you specifically be doing this, some people's views on how they view someone that gets necromized or comes back from the dead, or if they would do it to their family member or their loved one itself. Even what happens to you when you specifically die as an undead, your soul basically gets lost and you don't go to heaven or hell. Holy fucking shit, I don't want to be undead at all in this world. But basically being akin to you being stuck in purgatory forever. That's horrible.
It could be good.
Then there's just the concept of having other magical organizations that are out there that want to basically put a stop or kill or use the witch in any way they see fit, like the Order or the Paladin Corps that want to basically eradicate witches, or even just the people that come from the Paladin Corps that are separated from them, which is the Men in the Mask, who separated themselves and they basically just do whatever the fuck they want.
One more thing.
There was also another concept I really liked. It was just the world building, right? Because we would go to one location to another, or talk about the 4 different continents, or who's ruling over certain continents. But it does seem like the show was finished with the world building, especially once you get to the last episode. It made my head completely turn around when they said it, is that there's another world, and that world involves vampires. But if anything, I highly suggest this show. I think it's a really big sleeper for the, I think it was last season? Not this season, but last season. It's pretty good. It was only 12 episodes, and I highly suggest it. So if anything, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.